Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. AEW Double or Nothing. Oh my God. Wow. I don't even know how to explain the main event. Just so much content in this show. It well overdid anything it wrote. I mean, it's too much. Dial it back a little bit, guys. I love AEW. I watched every match in AEW history. Bit much. Alright, so first match, the buy-in. We had a 6-man tag. We had Ethan Page, Austin, and Colten Gunn going up against the Hardys, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and Hook. If the Hardys won, Matt Hardy would get control of Ethan Page's contract. And that's exactly what happened. Jeff, Matt Hardy, and Hook was able to get the victory by submission over Ethan Page and the Guns. So now Matt Hardy has the contract with Ethan Page. This goes back to a long storyline between when Ethan Page had the contract with Matt Hardy and Private Party. Mark Quinn was supposed to be in this match, was supposed to be in this match, but he's still hurt. Yeah, it's just been an ongoing kind of just that revolving circle with the storyline with these guys, and so now Matt has that contract. I gave the match 2 3/4 star, and then we had the first match of the card. Holy hell, what a card! First match, we had the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW International Championship. We had Orange Cassidy starting the match. The order of elimination of these 20 men was Toni Nese, Daivari, Commander, Kip Saban, Chuck Taylor, The Blade, The Butcher, Bandito, Lee Moriarty, Trent Beretta, Keith Lee, Ray Phoenix, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ricky Starks, Ryan Cage, Justin Rhodes, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Big Bill. It came down to the final four of Penta El Zero Miedo, Big Bill, Swerve, Strickland, and Orange Cassidy. We had a couple different feuds that were going on during this match. Ricky Starks and Jay White, their feud kind of boiled up in this, and so did Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. The last two was Swerve and Orange Cassidy. Honestly, they actually had a pretty good little match at the end there. Swerve Strickland is hella talented. He's former Defy World Champion. But yeah, he's definitely hella talented. So is Orange Cassidy. But 22 minutes in this Battle Royal, Orange Cassidy is still your AEW International Champion. Give that 4-star. At one point, Trent Beretta actually took one for Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was standing on the outside of the ropes on the side of the ring there. Big Bill went to go for a kind of wheel kick, whatever it's called. Trent Beretta pushed Orange Cassidy out of the way and took the kick to get eliminated to save Orange Cassidy. Alright, next up we had the Unsanctioned match. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. Bye-bye. Sabu was the special enforcer. This match literally started with Adam Cole getting multi-teamed by the Jericho Appreciation Society. And then Sabu comes out, gets in a chair war in the ring with Jericho. Meanwhile, the JAC is out there attacking Cole and Roddy Strong. Sabu ends up putting Matt Menard through a table on the ringside. And then finally, the referee kind of kicks everyone out, and Sabu kind of chases everyone back to the back. And then the match got crazy as hell at that point. Jericho had Cole in a lion tamer almost in the ropes. Cole was able to was through the ropes, so he got in the ring, pulled out a fire extinguisher, ended up shooting the fire extinguisher in the face of Jericho, hitting him with the fire extinguisher. And then you had Jericho with a kendo stick. Britt Baker comes out with a kendo stick and just annihilates Jericho with it. Saray comes out to stop Britt Baker. Jericho hit Cole with a chair, and then when he did, Cole was on the top rope. He knocked Cole off the top rope down to the ringside through a table. Jericho got a chair and going to hit Cole with it. Cole ended up, turning it back on him. Yeah, it was just a combination, just chaos. Unsanctioned match was correct. What was funny, I thought it was pretty funny. So what's the next at the exact same time? They had the last man standing match coming up. So they did a random promo of Gunther just to kill time until this match was over, so they could do the last man standing with Dijak and Ilya Dragunov. I'm like, really? Are you serious right now? You didn't want those two to overlap? I mean, you counter program AEW, but yet you don't want the same type of matches to overlap. What's the point? Come on. But I give this unsanctioned match 3 3/4 star with Adam Cole getting the victory by referee stoppage. The referee determined that Jericho wasn't able to continue, and so the match was stopped. 17 minutes long. Again, 3 3/4 star. Next up, we have the AEW tag titles on the line with special referee Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett taking on the AEW tag team champions FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood. Of course, Karen Jarrett was out there, the original Karen. Sanjay Dutt was out there. Saddam Singh was out there. You had everyone getting involved. Jarrett attacked Cash Wheeler behind the referee's back at one point. Sangha held Cash. Dash ended up flying to the outside with Jarrett, on top of Jarrett. Sanjay pulled Cash. Cash went to pin, and Sanjay ended up pulling him out. Briscoe kicked him out of the ring, cut Sanjay and sat in the Singh out of ringside. Jericho went to hit. Not Jericho. Jarrett went to hit Cash Wheeler with a guitar and missed and hit Mark Briscoe and knocked the referee out. And then Audrey Edwards came out, and Sanjay kept stopping her from going to the ring. And about that time, you had Karen Jarrett come up with a guitar and whack her with it, knock her down. You had, after Mark Briscoe got knocked out with the guitar, you had FTR hit the big rig on Jay Lethal, no referee. And then you had Mark Briscoe start to come to. Him and Jeff Jarrett got in kind of a slapping. Jarrett ended up slapping Briscoe. They ended up hitting the big rig on them again. And then Mark Briscoe counted. It was not a fast count, but not a slow count. And after all that chaos with everyone at ringside, finally we have still AEW World Tag Team Champions FTR. I give it 3.5 star. Too much chaos going on. So much going on with these matches. We had the Battle Royal, we had Unsanctioned match, and we have a special referee. Then we have a ladder match. Then we have a normal match. And then a Fatal 4-Way, and then the Anarchy and the Arena match. Just a lot of gimmicks, a lot going on. Of course, while this match was finishing up, over on NXT, you had another random promo for Cora Jade. Then you had a Chase U segment, so they could wait till this match got over so they could put their tag title match on. Check out my NXT Battleground review, and I'll talk about all that in a little more in depth. We had a backstage segment. Ricky Starks backstage getting attacked by Juice Robinson and Jay White, so that feud's definitely not over yet. That led into the AEW TNT Championship match and a ladder match. Champion Wardlow versus Christian Cage. This got clusterfuckery as well. You had Wardlow out there. You had Luchasaurus eventually come out. You had Arn Anderson come out. There was one point where Christian was climbing up a ladder. You had Wardlow on the top rope. He jumped from the top rope to the ladder, broke the ladder when he did it, fell, looked like he turned his ankle, comes up limping. You had Luchasaurus out there trying to help Christian. You had Arn Anderson come out. For some reason, Arn Anderson ended up biting the hit. I guess Luchasaurus has his arm around the neck of Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson starts biting his thumb. I don't know if it was fake blood, real blood, if he drew blood, but it looked like he freaking Mike Tysoned him. And Luchasaurus' thumb comes out all bloody, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah, Luchasaurus was out there. Wardlow pushes Christian off the ladder a couple times. A couple big spots there. That broken ladder. Finally, you had... Yeah, exactly. Luchasaurus get taken out through a table. You had Wardlow finding Luchasaurus on the outside. There's a table set up and probably a 20-foot ladder. They put Luchasaurus on the table. Wardlow climbs this 20-foot ladder, comes off of it. Meantime, Christian's laying on the outside by the announce table. He climbs up a ladder. Arn Anderson goes in and pushes him off. By the time Arn Anderson pushed Christian off that ladder, you had Wardlow get back in the ring, and Wardlow caught Christian and kind of powerbombed him. And then you had Wardlow go up the ladder and win back his AEW TNT title. That match I missed. I thought Christian was going to win that. But the tag titles I got right. Unsanctioned match I got right. The international title I got right. So, based on my preview, I got out of the 9 matches, we added one. I didn't do that one. 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 9. So, I was 6 out of 7 on NXT. So, not horrible. And then we had the AEW Women's Title Line champion Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. Jamie Hayter's music plays. She doesn't come out. The music goes all the way through. It restarts. On the second time, you see Saraya and Ruby Soho come attacking Jamie Hayter at the top of the ring and basically kicking her ass all the way down to the ring. With Outcast attacking Jamie Hayter, the match gets started. Soho took off the turnbuckle. The referee got hit. The referee got knocked out. Britt Baker runs out. Runs off Saraya, but still you had Ruby Soho at ringside, interfering and everything. Finally, Hiroku Shida comes out and attacks Ruby Soho, but obviously too late on that, and Toni Storm ends up beating Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's title to become the first ever 2-time AEW Women's Champion. I give it 2.5 stars. There was just so much going on there. Apparently Jamie Hayter's still hurt, and this is kind of the way to get the title off of her and get it over with. But there was just so much in the show so far. The crowd was actually fairly dead, honestly. It reminded me of a WWE crowd. I don't know if AEW needs to keep going back to Vegas for these Double or Nothings, because I think almost every year it's been in Vegas. And then we had the open house rules for the House of Black for the AEW World Trios title. Malakai Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews all came out with their titles with Julia Hart. Who's going to accept the open house rules match? Of course, it was the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens, Matt Caster, and Billy Gunn. Honestly, this match was just... The Acclaim look overpowered, just overmatched. It was just kind of there. House of Black ended up getting the victory. Match lasted 15 minutes. I didn't think it was that long. But yeah, I ended up giving it 2 3/4. House of Black retaining their trios titles. And then we had Jade Cargill come out and defend her AEW TBS title versus Tyler Valkyrie. And then you had Valkyrie tried to hit the Valhalla, and then Jade went to hit the Jaded. Valkyrie did a top rope and took out Mark Sterling. Everyone was happy about that. But and then they showed Jade's family in the crowd and her husband Brandon Phillips. Yes, the Brandon Phillips that played for the Cincinnati Reds. Who knew, right? Because they said the name, and then Tony Schiavone or one of the announcers goes, "Yes, that is the Brandon Phillips that played for the Cincinnati Reds." I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. I thought that was kind of cool. Tyler tried to do a long blower on Jade Cargill when Jade came off the top rope. Badly missed, but basically kneed her in the gut. Tyler went to do a curb stomp, missed. Got hit with the, tried to hit the Road to Valhalla. only for a 2 count, and then Jade ended up getting the Jaded 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill 60-0 and giving the match a 3-star. But then we had Mark Sterling open his big mouth. Smart Mark Sterling opened his big mouth and open challenge anyone who wants to come out. I was kind of hoping maybe a George Grace or somebody like that because her contract with Impact Wrestling is up. No, we actually had the return of Chris Statlander, just as good. I was perfectly good with that. She is one talented wrestler. So you had the open challenge, you had Chris Statlander come out. Statlander took it to Jade Cargill. I know even though Jade just went through an almost 9-minute match. Within 48 seconds, after a tombstone by Chris Statlander, we have a new AEW TBS champion, Chris Statlander, and now Jade Cargill is 60-1. Her only loss ever in AEW. Give that a 1/4 star, 48 seconds. I mean, you don't rate those as a 1/4 star. But the main match, I give a 3-star too. All right, next up with the AEW World Title in the 4 Pillars match. We had champion MJF going up against Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jack Perry. Oh my. MJF comes out literally it looked like he was in a chair that rose up. And they lowered it down, some weird music playing. For those of you who remember WrestleMania 25, Shawn was in all white, and he was on the pedestal, and he came down the pedestal. That's what it reminded me of. I'm not comparing the two wrestlers. Nobody can go commenting. Hey, no, he's not a Shawn Michaels. But I'm just saying that spot, the way he came down sitting in this throne, it reminded me of Shawn coming down. This match just went balls to the wall, boom, boom, boom. Jack Perry hit a double arm drag on Guevara and Allin. Darby did a dive on MJF. Jack Perry did a dive on Allin, did a dive on MJF. You just had super kicks. Just brawling everywhere, just high flying, people blowing up everyone else. German suplexes galore, dives galore. At one point you had all 4 of them with submissions on somebody else in the ring. It was just non-stop, go. It ended up being in a 3-on-1 on MJF. Then at one point you had Sammy Guevara do the Lion Tamer, hit the Lion Tamer. You had MJF hit the Crossroads. You had Darby Allin do the Stinger drop. You had Jack Perry doing the Unprettier. So basically all their mentors, they were hitting their moves. So MJF doing Cody Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Jericho, Darby Allin, Sting, Jack Perry, Christian. It was just like you had freaking Darby Allin do a coffin drop on Guevara. Jack Perry came in and stopped the pin. I mean, Darby was that close to winning the world title. So you had them two kind of start fighting each other. You had Darby end up doing a coffin drop onto Jack Perry, but MJF put the title on Jack Perry. So when Darby came down with the coffin drop, he did basically a coffin drop on the title, ended up rolling over, and then you had MJF, the luckiest champion in the history of pro wrestling, do a pinfall on Darby Allin, 1, 2, 3, and still your AEW World Heavyweight Champion. 27, almost 28 minutes, just non-stop, just go. There wasn't a lull in this match, really. I ended up giving it 5-star. I don't give 5-star matches just willy-nilly. This is one of those matches where it's like, just you know. There was the first ever North American title ladder match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. There was a couple spots in the middle of that match where there was a lull, where nothing was going on. Because of that, I give it 4 3/4. This one had just chaos the whole time, so I ended up giving it 5-star. The second main event, and they kind of built it that way, second main event. So we had 10 matches on this card. This was a long show. AEW's got to calm it down a little bit. You burn the crowd. The crowd was dead to start out the first half of the show. They woke up a little bit for the main event and the 2 main events, but It was a WWE crowd. It's literally what I was sitting there thinking the whole time. It's a WWE crowd because they're not really hot for a lot of stuff they should be hot for. Then we had the main event. Anarchy in the arena match. Blackpool Compact Club, Ryan Danielson, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, the returning to the Elite, Hangman, Adam Page. It was too much. Honestly, it was too much. The fact that I spent 3 hours watching 2 wrestling shows and taking notes and doing stuff, preparing myself for my reviews of the NXT Battleground, even this one here, this match was too much. It was just so much going on at one time that you had Matt Jackson and Claudio wrestling in the concourse. You had Kenny Omega and John Moxley wrestling in the entrance area. You had Wheeler Yuta and Matt Jackson in one spot. You had Page and Bryan Danielson somewhere else. It was, and they're just doing 2 pictures and just everything's going everywhere. Everyone's just chaos happening. The BBC came to the crowd, the Elite go in the crowd and start the fighting. There was so much to take in. You had Claudio end up tombstoning Matt Jackson in the back of a pickup truck on the outside of the arena. When Matt came back, they were doing the whole, getting your head kicked in on each other, the 3 BCCs on the Elite. Matt comes in, super kicks John Moxley, explosion when he super kicked him, which was kind of cool. They were able to do that and make it look legit timing. And then you had just Matt. They ended up taking Matt Jackson's shoe off because of the explosion. BCC did. See what the hell's going on with it, basically. Took his sock off. Moxley gets a bag of tacks out. They end up putting Matt, kind of doing the drop into the tacks on his feet, so his foot right in all these tacks, and he's hobbling. Nick took a cutter from Mox with a face full of freaking mouthful of tacks. He ended up putting all these tacks in his mouth and did a cutter with it. It's like, oh my god. Then toward the end, you had Don Callis getting involved. You had Wheeler Yuta hitting a screwdriver on Omega. You had Konosuke Takeshita come out in a mask, his face covered up, and attacked Omega, took the mask down. It was Takeshita. You had Wheeler Yuta actually get the pinfall on Kenny Omega for the BCC Blackpool Combat Club to win the Anarchy in the Arena match. 27 minutes of just chaos. It was anarchy, alright. I ended up giving it a 5-star because there was just so much going on, and it wasn't bad. It was good. It was just everything that was going on kind of made sense to the storyline, and you kind of had each of the people kind of off doing their own thing. They all came back together in the middle of the ring. You had the turn of Takeshita and Don Callis. Don Callis did turn on Omega, but is he part of BCC? We don't know yet. We think Takeshita wasn't it really talked about. The announcer's like, is he part of it? Is he not? So more to come on that on Wednesday Night Dynamite and then Rampage, and then on the 17th we start AEW Collision. So just a lot going on there, but that is AEW Devil or Nothing. If you have the opportunity to go watch it, I would definitely recommend watching it. But remember, it's a lot to take in. Gotta down those cards a little bit. 7 matches, 8 matches, not so many gimmicks. Let's just, But that is the review. Double or Nothing. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leading sports channel content.